Welcome back, or welcome to the channel, my friend, where today it is the beginning of Q4. This channel is all about what life is like in and around Northwest Arkansas. And once a quarter, my friend, as a local real estate broker, I provide my viewers a market update as to what's going on, what happened, where are we going. It's an election year this year. What's going on with interest rates? I'm going to dig into all of that, but first, a little bit of a disclaimer like I always want to mention. I'm here in Northwest Arkansas. This is hyper-local content. You may read on the news national content. You may even see regional or state content. I'm going to be delivering to you Northwest Arkansas content, specifically Benton County. The reason why I narrowed down so much just to Benton County is because we can really get into the weeds. Northwest Arkansas is made up of 3 counties: Benton County, Washington County to the south, and Madison County to the east. Again, we're talking about just Benton County numbers. And to my friends who are extremely analytic, I'm looking at properties that are just single family homes. No condos, no townhomes, no land. This is just single family homes in Benton County, Arkansas. As a general rule of thumb, my friend, if you're concerned about Benton County versus Washington County, Benton County is going to be a higher price. Days on market are going to be less. Your dollar won't stretch as far as it would down in Washington County. We're not talking a significant amount of difference. Many people ask me, Anthony, how's the market? And usually that's coming from a position of, we really need to understand what's going on with the market. Is now the right time to buy? Is now the right time to sell our home and move somewhere else? Well, my friend, we're going to discuss days on market, my favorite metric to hate, price per square foot, as well as what those actual metrics mean in regards to the house that you would be purchasing here in Benton County. But I go back and I look at the previous 5 years. We're looking at from 2020 to 2024, what happened in Q3 in each one of those respective years. Now, of course, if you're new to the channel, you have to understand there's so much new construction here in Benton County and in Washington County that I do break it out between existing homes and new construction homes, again, to give a differentiator because they can be vastly different in price per square foot, in the actual cost of the home, the size of the home, etc. So I'm going to deliver to you a lot of information, but I want to direct your attention to 3 specific metrics that popped out to me. One is the actual house price from 2020 all the way up to 2024, specifically talking about Q3 of each one of those years, the amount of new construction that sold in each one of those quarters, and the major jump in price per square foot. Let's go ahead and jump into the numbers. Talking first about the actual house that you can purchase in each one of these quarters. Let's start off with this chart where we see in 2020, the average home that you could buy in Benton County was $299,827. It increased in 2021 to $348,836, and then a big jump from 21 to 22 at $413,781. Then we flatlined a little bit from 22 to 23 at $417,268. Then again, from Q3 2023 to Q3 24, we saw another significant jump. The average home sold in Q3 of 2024 was $453,891. Now, my friend, you may be looking at the difference in those prices and going, holy cow, that is absolutely bananas. Please understand, the old saying goes, you don't wait to buy real estate, you buy real estate and then wait. So if you look at interest rates over time have gone up and down. Prices for housing has gone up. Yes, it's corrected over the years, but it's continually going up and to the right, especially here in Northwest Arkansas. If you didn't know already, you should know that Northwest Arkansas is one of the most desirable places to live in the United States. And it's no secret, people are moving here in droves. According to the Northwest Arkansas Business Council, 36 net people a day are moving to Northwest Arkansas. I don't know the numbers broken out Benton to Washington County, but I do know that there is significant growth in both counties. The next metric, again, that I absolutely love to hate is price per square foot. Let me just blanket this statement like I always need to. Price per square foot is a great tool to use when you're talking in generalities. In 2020, the average price per square foot of homes sold in Q3 of 2020 was, in 2021, it went to $161. In 22, it went to $195 a square foot. In 2023, it went to $199. And this quarter, we are currently seeing homes selling at $210 per square foot. Let's break that down a little bit further for you from new homes to existing homes. Existing homes in 2020 were $133, whereas new construction was $137. So a little bit more expensive again for a new construction home in 2020. In 2021, it flip-flopped again, $163 a square for existing and $152 for new construction. In 2022, it was $196 a square foot for existing and $191 for new homes. In 2023, it was $201 a square foot for existing and $195 per square foot on average for a new construction home. And here in Q3 of 2024, the existing homes were selling around $212 a square, whereas new construction is selling at $205. Now, my friend, hear me loud and clear. Don't shoot the messenger. There are some builders that are building at $300 a square foot, $400 a square foot, because it's a high-end custom new construction home versus a high production, low-end new construction home that they might be building 500 of them a year, and they're building at a price of $190 a square foot, as an example. These are averages, my friend, so keep that in mind. Now, the last and final metric I want to point out from Q3 2020 to Q3 2024 is the amount of new construction that we're seeing year over year. 2020, we saw 397 new homes. 2021, we saw 514. 2022, 559. 2023, 659. And here in Q3 of 2024, we all saw 719 new construction homes close. If you're curious about the existing homes that had closed during those quarters, they were varied. They went up some years, they went down some other years. If you were a realtor watching this, understand that sometimes there are homes that are not classified as existing or new construction. That gives a little bit of a variance. I was able to track of the homes that were marked new construction, of the homes that were marked existing. That's where this data is being pulled. Next, we're going to talk about pending homes, then what's existing. Then last, I'm going to talk about interest rates and the election cycle and what that means in regards to home values and home prices and interest rates. Does it have a correlation? Doesn't it? Currently, there are 987 homes pending in Benton County. 573 of those are new construction. 412 of those are existing. Again, if you add those numbers up, it's not quite 987 homes because somebody in the MLS forgot to mark if it was an existing or a new construction home. Now on to what's available. Maybe you're a buyer right now considering moving to Northwest Arkansas. Maybe you're looking to retire. Maybe you're looking to relocate here because your employer is moving you here. There are currently 1,088 homes, not condos, not townhomes, not land purchases, but homes in Benton County for sale. 368 of those are new construction and 713 of those are existing homes. Now I will say price per square foot, $292 a square on the existing homes and $215 per square foot on average for what's available in our current market. You may be saying, Anthony, that's great information, but what exactly does that correlate to on average for a house, new construction wise? Well, my friend, for new construction, that will buy you a 3-bed, 3-bath, just over 2,000 square foot home in Benton County for $451,765. As far as existing homes, we're not talking about thousands and thousands of homes. We're talking about hundreds of homes that can be skewed by one. So I apologize to the agent that I had to take out your house that's listed at $15 million and 260 some acres, because it really skewed the data. And here's what I mean by that. The average price per square foot of existing homes is $292 a square. Now, what can that buy you? I took out that $15 million home. Here's the difference in what you can purchase. They were both about a 4-bed, 3-bath, 2645 square foot home. But with that $15 million home in that average, the average price of the home is $776,110. Without that one home in there skewing the other 713, the average home jumps down to only $756,132. Now you might be like, still $700,000 for an existing home. My friend, you can buy a home in Benton County less than $700,000. This is average data. Many of you are also concerned about absorption rate or consumption. Is this a buyer's market? Is this a seller's market? When it's a healthy market, we're looking at about 4 to 6 months of supply. Right now in Benton County, we have about 1.77 months of supply. Of course, we're here toward the end of the year, and end of the year, we don't typically see as many home sales as we do, again, in the latter part of Q1 or even into Q2 and early part of Q3. After school goes into session, we typically see the amount of homes slow down. That doesn't mean prices are going down. That means home sales are slowing down. Prices are still going up and to the right. How did I come up with that number? Well, I looked back the last 3 months. The average amount of homes that have sold in the last 3 months in Benton County has been about 612 homes that have sold each month. Divide that by the current inventory. That lets us know that if they stop listing houses right now, we're going to run out of houses to buy in 1.77 months. So by the end of the year. But of course, people are continuing to list. We've got Many people moving in and out for their jobs, for Tyson, for JB Hunt, for Walmart, for one of the vendor jobs. Maybe you're currently on the Walmart team and you're going to get relocated up to Minneapolis to be on the Target team, as an example. One of the biggest objections that I'm getting right now as far as why people are not buying or not selling their home is they're concerned about two things. What's going to happen with interest rates? What's going to happen with the election? But right now with the Fed chair is Jerome Powell, and according to Reuters.com, Jerome Powell is recently quoted as saying, anything that we do before, during, or after the election will be based on the data, the outlook, and the balance of risk, not on anything else. Now, the central bank, my friend, is not associated with any one political party. If you're a buyer in today's market, you may know that interest rates have recently gone down. The Fed lowered rates by 0.5 point. Earlier in the video, I had mentioned that many people are objecting. They're saying, Anthony, I'm waiting for interest rates to go down. Well, my friend, about 6 to 8 months ago, interest rates were close to 7%. Now, I'm not going to quote specific lender, and I'm not a lender myself. Never will be a lender. What you can expect as far as interest rates right now, generally speaking, on a 30-year fixed on a conventional loan, you can expect right around 6%. If you're a buyer in today's market, you've probably been watching interest rates. You might be excited to see that interest rates recently have been lowered by the Fed, which is not a direct correlation to mortgage rates, but they do tend to affect mortgage rates. Mortgage rates have gone down. In the last 6 to 8 months, they were in the 7s. Now we're in the low 6s. Again, not a lender, not quoting rates, but you can buy down your rate. I've seen people be into the 5s on a conventional loan. Not a lender, talk to your lender, they'll quote you the rates. I have to ask you, my friend, if you're waiting for interest rates to go down, they've gone down, and it's fall months. If you're looking to buy a house, now would be a great time before the spring market comes back in full force. Imagine if interest rates are now at 6%, as an example, and they move down to 5% in April, as an example. Imagine how many people are going to now be flooded into the market. That's just for refinance of people that bought within the last few years, but the people that have been waiting in their home for the last 3 to 5 years to move, now are saying, hey, you know what? It's about as good as it's going to get. Let's go ahead and move now. I have to ask you a question, my friend. Are you more in love with your house, or are you more in love with your interest rate? If you're more in love with your interest rate, my friend, we need to have a conversation. What's going to happen with interest rates? I don't know. I always say that's a baseball up there, which it is. It's not a crystal ball. Nobody knows what's going to happen. And for those of you that are concerned about the election cycle and what happens with interest rates, I did some digging for you as well. According to Reuters.com, the Fed has changed the interest rate in all but 2 election years since 1972. So of the 13 election years that have happened, the Fed has changed interest rates in that election year 11 times. For the sake of this video, I don't care which way you vote. I'm just trying to help maybe dispel some election concerns or some election objections. You may be saying, hey, well, I'm going to wait to see what happens to the election before I go and buy a house, before I go and sell a house. I went and did my own analytics, and I noticed in the last 13 elections, all the way back since 1972, Republicans won 7 times and Democrats won 6 times. If you're a bit more analytical than that, you may be interested to know that the Fed has lowered the interest rates twice within inside of 10 weeks of the election, respectively Reagan in 84 and Carter in 76. So 2 different parties. So I went ahead and I also looked myself as to what happened with interest rates when a certain party was nominated. Although Republicans had won more elections, at the end of each one of those Republican terms, you might be interested to know what the interest rate was at the end of those, up or down. Again, I didn't take into consideration re-election, but 5 of the 7 times that Republicans won the election, 5 of those times, the interest rates were higher at the end of that Republican president's term. Now, we're not talking 2% or 10% higher. We're maybe talking around 0.5 point to 1.5 points on average. On the other side, 5 of the 6 times Democrats were in the office in the last 13 elections, interest rates were down at the end of the Democratic president finishing their term. But again, it wasn't down by like 4% at the end of their term. It was more like maybe 0.5% or 1%. Again, I don't care for the sake of this video who you vote for. I'm just trying to help dispel some of that belief of weighting one way or the other. Economists have debated this for years, and there is no strong correlation between one party winning over another and then what happens to housing prices or what happens to interest rates. So my friend, I have to say, if you're concerned about interest rates, historically speaking, they are low right now. Go buy the house. If you're concerned about which person is going to be in the White House come the beginning of 2025, historically speaking, that does not matter either in regards to home prices. Hopefully I've helped dispel some beliefs for you. In my opinion, of course, I'm a real estate broker. I'm going to say now's the best time to buy a house. But the two best times to plant a tree were 10 years ago and today. My friend, it's always my pleasure to help put this information together for you. And now you know a little bit more about what life is like in and around Bentonville. Thanks for watching.